you check the children? Show a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Bevaninos, Fright fans, and welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Jaime and Fuego, and yes, as you can tell, we have some different days going down, and very happy about the transition and the fact that I have affordability. It's been nuts with going back to school and essentially having another job on top of another job, and yeah, it is what it is. But I'm here, and I'm talking Bingo Hell. And if I'm not mistaken, this was requested by Sam Glass, one of our longest standing and most awesome, supporters in every possible capacity, whether it's, amazingly monetarily with just your, small donations, because that's the thing. It's just a small donation, man, but that shizzle adds up significantly. But yet really more so when it comes to Sam, it's the just positivity of him as a person, telling us that he enjoys our content, our takes, our just impressions of stuff. And that's why Samuel Glass is the shiznittle bam ships. Yeah, shit. Love you, man. Alright, Bingo Hell though. Not bad. This was of that weird sort of interim, and it was preceded even before the pandemic, which is what's so odd about it. So you had people in the Blumhouse Amazon Prime effective guild of sorts, where they're like, yo, let's debut this stuff directly on streaming, movies no less, as opposed to something that was gonna go right to the eyes of people who are spending for their Amazon Prime or whatever. And so that's where we found ourselves. It's not bad. This movie is not bad, and it's most definitely not bad because of the presence of Richard Drake. Drake. Oh, goodness, guys. I've already officially messed up the background, which is pretty hilarious, actually. Is it staying? Is it chilling? All of you patrons are going to have that amusement aspect, which is great. But yeah, I legitimately was okay with some of the transitionary aspects, and with giving just relentless regard, rightfully so, to some of these peeps, and yet everything else was a little bit weird when it came to this particular film. Richard Drake is fantastic as the villain, and even more so, we have a couple elderly people who are the spotlight and the mainstays and the leads of this film. I love that aspect. I legitimately borderline adore the fact that we have very capable, competent, amazingly funny, in the fact that they are living up to the amusement of their age. Dude, this movie is where I most definitely am a little bit upset with the fact that these very seasoned actors deserve better. This script should have been better. It could have been better. It found itself on the derpy side of things. Yeah, as opposed to actually really embodying the prescience and the amazingness of said concept on paper. This movie could have been, very prolific about, okay, somebody who is old and you are a frequent gambler. We know that age and gambling, unfortunately, they coalesce because of the fact that when you know that you don't have much time left, you want that quick fix sort of situation, and that's essentially what is transpiring in this film. But it doesn't enliven you, it doesn't enrich you, it doesn't make you happy. And I really feel like if this film had maybe been a little less serious, because there's goofy whateverness, but this movie was not as fun as I feel like it needed to be based on concept on paper. And that's one of its big detriments, unfortunately. This could have been probably prolific, genuinely. This could have been, changed the, not all time, but as far as annually, best horror of that year, this film could have been in the running if it did not almost kind of cut itself off, man. It hindered itself and defanged, declawed, whatever you want to classify it as. That's most definitely what transpired here. And it's a bummer. Alright? Because you have these older folks who are, they still go to the same place, and, there is a, local community sort of organization aspect that's transpiring and all that different stuff. So, yeah, you understand, why those ties are where they are. Everything else, though, bummer status, man. Just not engaging. And notice, I'm not talking about the third act of this movie, where Richard Brake actually becomes a thing. It's because it doesn't matter. It doesn't feel like it matters. I don't want to say this feels like me giving this film sympathy, but it genuinely is where I love those older characters who are the predominance of the narrative and, the just focal point specifically and understandably. But everything else, you're like, I know why they're the focal point. It doesn't feel natural. It feels deliberate that you have these people who are in these roles and they're like, okay, we're deliberately trying to make a film about old people in a horrific situation. And I love that. Make it feel more natural as opposed to deliberate. And Sam, I love you, mate. And yet, that was my biggest issue with this film, is that this film felt like it was pandering. That's not to say it didn't succeed and do it really well, because all of the performances from these older actors in this film, exceptional. Exceptional. They are so fucking good. Yeah, I only drop F-bombs where there's necessary. These older actors kicked ass. They are so good. They are so believable. They are so funny. They are so about the situation, that they are finding themselves within. Everything else, it doesn't service or respect their talent, man. And that's what sucks. Because this movie could have kicked ass. We're talking 3.5 to 4 star status, dude. Despite its mundane sort of conceptualizing. Didn't accomplish. Some big time bummer, man. So, yeah, that is unfortunately my thoughts on this particular film. Bingo hell! Yeah, it's amusingly critiquing of, everything about the casino resort sort of mentality. But it's also very much a Southern California film, especially for those who have experienced it themselves. And so, props to them for understanding the aspect of this movie that is really important, and that's like, hey, I've lived it, I've experienced it, it is what it is, and so, yeah, big time props to the people who put it together, even if they didn't necessarily, hit that, essential mark that they were aiming for. So, in any event, guys, I've been Jaime Fuego, and yeah, you can find me on all social media sectors, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, so on and so forth. But really, the big time thing is that Cecil, man, the founder of the friggin' Feast, he is about to debut not just a music video for a song that I had a very blessed hand in creating, but, dude, Cecil made a movie. It's pretty awesome, right? And it's called Dylan's New Nightmare. It is a Freddy Krueger sort of, fan, sidestep of sorts, but created with the most, dare I say, utmost capacity of care and compassion and just, awesomeness as far as everybody associated with the process. So keep your eye out for that. The silly song is going to be, something else that's releasing beforehand. But dude, DNN is a thing. You guys need to make sure that you're keeping proper attention to that. And yes, a grande gracias once again, Fuego. And yes, happy and blessed to be a part of the proceedings with Cecil, Robert, Susie, all of those amazing peeps. And just as we veer towards even more development, there's a lot that is coming down the pipelines. And so I've been Fuego, y'all been Rad Status, and until next time, Fred fans, remember, stay scared.